The Bounty Bee waits in the quiet, and the Phoenix kept watch. Space is calm today. The radar caught a few ships passing, too distant to matter. But I can feel the path forward beginning to take shape. The way home is out there, clear enough to glimpse. And the only thing standing between me and it is the Factorum. The Phoenix must be ready, and so must I. There is no time to waste. Alright, let's see if we can get our Bounty Bee out of this asteroid hole. You know what? I was considering putting the hydrogen from the Phoenix into the Bounty Bee, but looking that I have 98 here, I won't be able to transfer that over from one ship to the other. So we might have to look into another solution for that. The Bounty Bee is still bigger than I remember. When I came here I thought it was a small ship, but now comparing it with the Phoenix, it's still a pretty large ship. Alright, so let's see what we can do. So I do have a connector on the bottom here, but I believe that everything is gonna be a little bit... Oh, you know what we could do? We just connect that one on this, and then we can start removing all our thrusters. The question is, what are we gonna do with the hydrogen tanks? Do I still have space in this ship to do any changes? We already got 2 hydrogen tanks in here. The only thing that I could change would be the container. I might have to make a station here just to have my hydrogen in a few separate tanks, so I can refuel when needed. Let me just check if I go and sit in the cockpit. This has 89%. Yeah, I think we might have to just make a station for the hydrogen. So what we could do instead, we could build it in such a way that I can dock this on a station and the ship on a station, and then have the hydrogen tanks down in the base here. It's just so I don't lose the hydrogen. It is a bit of a waste to just throw it away. So let me get some resources. So we could try to build a little bit of a station here. I'm just gonna put some blocks in there so we have like a foundation to begin in. As we don't have like a real orientation, I'm just gonna kind of follow the surface of that asteroid. Alright, so I'm gonna build 4 tanks of hydrogen and 2 car containers, and that should be a good depot for storing all the stuff in here. And then we need a conveyor line that both allows me to dock the Bounty Bee and the ship there. So we're gonna have to split this up a little bit. This one we could land here, then the Bounty Bee will need... Let's see... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 blocks out. Make sure that we can kind of dock. I have a feeling this is going to be too tight to get my docking here. I wonder if I should have gone in that direction. I think it might have been better. So it would say something like that. And then we can go to our connector. Like this. So if I land and dock on that, my nose of my Bounty Bee will be somewhere here. And then the next ship will land somewhere on the left. So we should actually extend it a little bit as well. We might just follow the same direction. Let's go and recharge because my oxygen is draining as well. Alright, so we're going to weld this up. Then I can connect my ship on one and the other ship on the other. And then we have our transfer anyway. And I can also drain my hydrogen and extra resources in those containers. That is going to empty my conveyors as well a bit and my cargo, so it's going to be easier to also maneuver with it when needed. What I'm going to do, I'm really going to fly this close by so that I can easier transfer my materials. Also, I'm not going to spend too much time on showing every little detail I'm doing, like building. So I'll see you when I'm done with the conveyor line. There we go. So this should be now pretty simple and easy to just connect to that and already have my first ship transferred. operations. Proxy 2. Alright. This is gonna make it so much easier because now I can withdraw from this container to start fixing this up. I might actually start with first these two. Could I? No. That way we'll make a connection between the two containers as well. Alright, so these tanks are going to serve as well as a kind of a depot where I can drop off the excess hydrogen. Let me just put this on stockpile. Control. And let's do it via build vision. So the only thing I need to do right now is finishing up these right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so let's now bring over our bounty bee and move you over in there. I forgot how clumsy this bounty bee was as a ship. This is definitely not a combat ship. How many connectors do we have here? Quite a lot. Bounty bee connector docking. Is this the one? Let me just do this and say switch lock. Ready to. Alright, so now both of the ships are connected. This should allow me to easily transfer materials back and forth while we're working on this ship. So the plan was to actually replace these in the back here with jump drives. I think the jump drive is 3x3x3, so I'm actually put it in here in front of the thruster, so we're gonna have to move these lights away. It would be nice that you can actually see which orientation this light is. Actually, I think I can see it. There's an arrow there. This is the same. Okay, alright. I just noticed that. There's actually an arrow on the outside of the So, if I do this, then you have the same arrow pointing upwards. And we're going to do the same on this side. Actually, I'm going to have to rebuild them in the right position. Let's make sure that we're still pointing upwards. We are. I just am realizing that we might have to move it backwards. Can we actually build it here? Let me just see. Does this have an exit? No. So I could probably put it deeper than that. Let me just double check here. This does not have an exit. So we should be able to just remove this to be able to put a a jump drive in here. So the lights I could have left. Okay, jump drive. Let's get those placed and ready for completion. Wanna go in here? I'm gonna put my steel plates in there. The same with you. I do think, I mean, the goal is not to use this ship during combat, so I'm not gonna lose my jump drives if I keep my ship out of the range of the ships we're gonna engage with. So let's get the other jump drive in here. That should give us a decent enough jump, I think. 2 jump drives. If we empty our inventories and move most of it into the containers here, we should be able to just jump pretty easily back and forth. And what I'm gonna do I'm going to replace this with a conveyor so I can put 2 welders, so I don't need to do this manually. Alright. So what are we missing? Superconductors. And power cells. So let's go to production and let's put a whole bunch of those into production. Not 2000. We need maybe this and then a few batteries. Alright, so while this is welding up our jump drive, we can focus on the other ship. Let's put stockpile on here as well. I will have to do the same, put stockpile on my Bounty B, so I'm not draining that one. I think actually you are almost empty? Almost empty? Alright, so that's getting good. So let's start with removing all these thrusters here.
Inventory full.
What? Yeah, it's okay. I'm not gonna come to you.
Inventory full.
Alright, let's continue. This is gonna be a constant grind fest. So I'll see you when I'm done with that. Alright, this one is empty, so that's a good sign. I think we actually can take this one off, because I don't see anything else connected to it, so let's get rid of you. Alright, so the plan is to just get rid of everything on here. What I want to see if I can transfer the inventory from these cargo containers into the base. Let me see how much we have in here. See if we can get it either into... Well, I think most of it should just go into the cargo containers below here. And then we can drain from there. That should be possible. So we're going to drain all that. We're going to get rid of all the resources. See if we can get rid of all the hydrogen. And I think we should be safe looking at this. Yep. I can get rid of all these 4 tanks. And we can clean up the ship so that it's back to its original state. And then I'll be back with you. Alright, I think we're almost done here. So the only thing I need to remove is this. So I'm going to remove this connector. Then we're going to move the ship so we land with our connector on that. And we can remove the hydrogen tank then as well. Let me just switch lock. So you're already disconnected. There we go. Actually, I can remove the tank as well. So the goal of this is going to be to both improve the ship with heavy armor. We want to change the power source or the thrusters to be more power based, like ion thrusters, so that we can have a little bit more you know, a safer ship, because these hydrogen tanks are really making me nervous in combat. So let us begin with replacing these here with all heavy armor, so that the wings already are protected, because there are 2 guns on this. And then I think if I just build the welder underneath here, we should be able to just build up that wing. And I don't need to fly back and forth with the metal grids. Alright, turn you on. And there we go. Nice. So that should be building up this nice and easily. Alright, here we go. So these little wings are already changed to heavy armor. We're going to do the rest as well. I'm going to look at the weak spots and make sure that everything is a little bit more protected. This is already heavy armor, so that's pretty good. See if we can make some extra protections, extra layers that are going to protect us against the attacks from the Factorum when we get nearby. Protect these thrusters here. See if we maybe can change these to also having maybe something that protects the gun from being shot. I wonder if I should move and put one closer by, so the gun is actually shooting over it. That might be a good idea as well. Yeah, alright. So as I said, the goal here is to remove as much as possible of the hydrogen. And what I'm considering of doing is actually still holding a little bit of hydrogen in the ship, but just as a backup if we need to get out of a location, or if we need to brake or something like that. So the only thing we need to figure out is going to be the conveyor lines inside. Before we go, I want to check my how are my jump drives doing. Okay, what are we missing here? We are missing 101 of those. So production, assembler, we need 101. I think that should be enough. You're done now. Yeah. Alright, let's go inside. Let's see what we have there that we can remove. All that work. Actually, I might not want to remove these. We might have to work from inside, so we can remove one of the thrusters and then see what we have. I was considering keeping one of them in the center, but that might be a bit of a hassle if we want to keep the conveyor line easy. This projection is in the way. Control projector. Let's turn you off so I actually can see what's happening here. What is this? A cargo terminal? Alright, guess I should first empty all these cargo terminals so I can just easily grind them away. So let's just move them all to our depot. Alright, so all the cargo terminals are now empty. That means I can start removing them. So I was considering keeping this, so let's wait with that. Ooh, this is going to change a lot because these are taking the same conveyor line. That means that it's going to be a little bit harder to get the ion thrusters properly done. So we need to keep this, and we definitely need to keep that one. That's our oxygen tank. So that's good. That means we can keep this whole system. All our doors are going to keep working. This can stay as well. So the only thing we want to change is the conveyor lines for our hydrogen. If I'm going to keep hydrogen, that's the question. Anyway, you are empty, so I should be able to grind you away.
Inventory full.
This is another cargo terminal. Does this? No? I just pushed my materials inside. I don't know if they go into the cargo terminals. No? Okay, they're empty. Good. Alright, so now the whole thing is cleared up. Everything is gone. All the hydrogen tanks are gone except for the oxygen tank. And that. We should now be able to just remove the thrusters, the hydrogen thrusters. Actually, what I want to do, I would like to keep the central thrusters in their position where they are and replace these with ion thrusters. The only thing I need to figure out is how we're going to conveyor it up. Alright, so we got all our thrusters. This means we can put a thruster to go like left, right, up and down. So that should be possible. The only problem here is that this is going to take the same position, so we cannot put a double thruster down, so it means we're going to have to shift it to the back. So what I'm probably going to have to do here is probably remove this one as well, so we can have a triple layer of thrusters. The major question is going to be how are we going to conveyor this all up? Do we do these? Do we do these? Or do we do the round ones? I think I might actually go for these. One here. One here. One here. One here. Then we put two here. Like that. Like this. And then we need the three down. Now, as you can see, these thrusters are taking too much space. Yep, they are taking too much space. I am gonna have to figure out a better way. So you're taking that space, which means I cannot build any thrusters here. I cannot build any thrusters here. I can build a thruster there and there, but then I will need to put another thruster somewhere else, maybe here. That is where my... Is this where my gyroscope is? That's my gyroscope. It would be better if I could put another one there and then move my gyroscopes in another location. That would be preferred. Yeah. We can get rid of these landing gears as well. And then let's get rid of this steel plate here. And the gyroscope, and we need to move that in a different location. This is a complete rework. Right, so we got 3 6 lifting thrusters and 2 hydrogen thrusters in case we need extra power. I mean, that's the plan. That's what we are aiming for. Not sure if that is what we're gonna manage to do. And in the back, we're gonna put 4 ion thrusters. I think we're gonna leave 2 hydrogen thrusters, as we will need quite some force to go forward while traveling. We'll have to see how this manages during a battle. Yeah. But as I said, I want to get rid of that massive hydrogen bomb inside my ship. Then we need to put a braking thruster as well. I think, depending a bit on where our conveyors are, we might move... And they need to keep the conveyor line here. So the only one we could probably do is put a ion thruster here. Trying to keep my gun on that position. Who knows? Alright, now we got the thrusters into the positions, at least most of the positions where the hydrogen thrusters used to be. We'll just have to see if that's enough. I might have to make a little opening so I can actually go in there. I think this is the hydrogen... Let's see, is this the oxygen tank right here? Oxygen tank is there, so we might actually have to... Holy moly, where am I gonna go in? Let me go from here and then we repair one of the hydrogen thrusters afterwards. Alright. Now, we're gonna need a lot of conveying here to ensure that our guns keep working. These need to be kept. We could put a container there and there, just so we have extra storage. Don't know if I can withdraw that because I don't have access to anything anymore. We will have to replace this oxygen tank. We might actually have to move the oxygen tank somewhere here, then drain that one so we have access to this position. So what we might have to do here, let's see, if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, that would actually work. Yeah. So we need containers in there. We need, I think we're just gonna fill this up with containers, this area. This whole bottom area will be containers and a conveyor line. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 containers, which should be more than enough for ammo. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I need to keep this open. What we could put on here is actually a welder that protects or welds most of the grid up here in the back. Then this is going to be a conveyor. This is going to be a hydrogen tank. And this is going to be an oxygen tank. So, can I build an oxygen tank so I can move the oxygen over? There we go. If I put you on stockpile, you should drain that one there, hopefully. Then here we're gonna have a another hydrogen tank. We can put another hydrogen tank left and right, and this is gonna have to be a conveyor. Yeah. So conveyor, tank. Then 2 more tanks on here. Is there a way for me to reach this without... You are empty. But if I empty... Oh, damn it. This is so annoying now. I would like to keep this thing on the same position. Could we use a mag plate to keep it in position and then build a hinge there? So if I would do this...
Energy low.
Shh. That is working. Okay, that's not locking on the grid. Need to find something else. I mean, we are in space, which means it shouldn't move. I also don't know if it is going to disconnect, if it's actually going to remember the whole grid as it was. Could we try to grab it on the door maybe instead? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Yeah, this is just infighting Clang over here like nobody's business. Alright, mag plate. Alright, so it's not locking on the door. What if I close it? This does kind of work, but also doesn't. Alright, if I just grind this off and let's put it on this side and see if I close the door, does it lock on the door? Because that looks like this is the exact depth. I think this just locked, no? Did it not lock? I'm not entirely sure, but I think this merge block, this merge magnetic plate is locked. Alright, so we are currently locked on the door. Which means this should not move at all. If I disconnect that oxygen tank. Oh, get ready for some serious Clang. Hold on to your mag boots. Oh, no. Actually, this is... good. So what we need here is damn it, is this a wharf reactor? I cannot reach that. Okay, you have to go, because I need a conveyor line. So we're gonna have to find a better position to put that other thruster. Because we need a conveyor line that connects these and these to this. Alright, I'm gonna grind this floor away. I want to make sure that this is connected on that hinge and not on anything else. Right, because we don't have any snap points here now, so we are connecting on this grid, on the hinge. Right, so I'm going to put that conveyor back, and then we're going to have to use a merge block to link the conveyor to the grid. Oh, great. I'm in the perfect position now. Alright, so that's merge block 1, then we just need another merge block there. And I think we're good that we are connected to the grid of the asteroid here, because, man, we are flirting with Clang. I feel like I might get a Valentine's card next year from it. Alright, let's see. Is this whole thing powered up again? Yep, this whole thing is powered up again. That means now I just need to put a block in the bottom there to link this conveyor up. There we go. And I can remove all this on top, and we did not lose our little computer. Alright, so if I would open this up, let's see. Do you close again? Yeah, you kind of forgot all the doors, didn't you? Well, that's stupid. You know what I should do, and I should start thinking about that in the future, is putting things into groups, and I think it might remember groups more. I know that if we make missiles and drones and such, then it seems to be remembering that better. Although we did put the doors in groups, no? And I cannot... Let me just check the event block. Alright, let's look. Event blocks. We're looking for the Phoenix. And then see. Yeah, there we go. All the selected blocks are gone. Select actions, but these are still there. You just lost some of the tanks, but the rest is still there. So you just lost the doors. No? So event connector check. Event door check. We just need to add the doors back and that should work, no? So if we do event door close check, and then we look at the Phoenix doors, and I add those, and then let's trigger the event block. You can see the timer block is working. Yeah, so that closed my doors. Alright, so the only thing I'm gonna have to do is just add the blocks back to the event block. Alright, good. So that was not too bad. What I'm realizing is that none of this is actually connected anymore to the front of the ship as well. So we might have to do a sneaky conveyor line to the front of the ship in a certain way, which means that this whole thing I tried to do here, switch my save my hinge on that position, is a waste of time. Do I have what you call it, experimental improvisation? I do. Okay, so that means I can actually just grab that hinge and move it somewhere else when I wanted to put it somewhere else. Alright, that's good. Because we need to change this here. No matter what I'm gonna do, no matter how we're gonna change it, we are sure that we need to move that hinge. That has to go somewhere else. So, can I just get to the hinge with my build vision and detach it? And then we're just going to use our grabby hands. That's the word I was looking for, grabby hands, and we're just going to pull it out of there. And then we're going to have to find another location. Not sure where yet, but I want to save that. So, all that merging and stuff, that was all a waste of time. Because we need to find a way to connect our frontal connectors, like our containers and such, the front part of the ship to the back of the ship. Right, that means we're going to have to get rid of that door so that we can replace that with a conveyor block. And I'm going to have to move this hinge away as well so that we can make that connection. We'll have to find a way where we're going to put that. I don't know where yet. Alright, so we changed that to an elbow. Then we're going to move that recharge station to the center and we can delete that cargo terminal. Did I just remove the corridor? Okay. Alright, so let's move that one to the center, and that should normally link up the whole ship again in one line. So if I do a build info conveyor network, you will now see that this is now linked up, this whole thing, to the ship. And we can get rid of our conveyors and our container. What I can do, I can actually put a hinge there and then connect that computer back, and we have our airlock system connected to the ship once more. The only thing I need to do, of course, is close that off. Let's use some heavy armor. I think that also should automatically air tighten this, even if the hinge is there. There is still a pipeline up there that I need to remove. So what I'm going to do, let's put the cargo terminal in here instead, and then we put the hinge on the other side. I think that might be the best solution. So let's put the cargo terminal here, and then we just remove that one on the other side. Slide this through that door a bit. There we go. Then we're going to remove you. You should be empty. Yeah. We can put some heavy armor blocks in there. We can get rid of you. And then after that, we can put the hinge there. Alright, so what I'm thinking is actually putting my hinge on the top of the ceiling so that it's against the heavy armor block. Then remove the center part, weld that up, and then we bring up the hinge back in there and attach it. And that should normally sort everything out. Alright, so let's grab you. Let me remove that build vision thing. Now we just need to flip and rotate you until you fit in there. So that might be a little bit of a tough dance, although should be pretty fine with just rotating. Okay, this took a little bit more than I expected it would take fiddling around, but here we go. Nicely placed inside. I just need to find the decent position that it is allowing us to attach it to the hinge. Like that. Now, this is a bit risky. So let me just save. Let me see if I can say attach. Boom! Oh, yes, baby. You're back. You're back. Alright, let's put this on the hinge lock on. And let's see. Could I put a corridor here or should I put that afterwards? I might have had to put this afterwards, so it puts... I don't know. I don't think I can put a corridor back here. If I open up my projector here, can I weld you up? Oh, but are you not beautiful? That's actually perfect. I wasn't expecting it to work, to be honest. It's weird that I cannot get the blueprint or the build planner for this block. Give me some material plates. Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm really glad this worked. Okay, that's good. Once we're happy with the thrusters, we can then look in improving the heavy armor on the ship and also think about the gun, because I don't think we want to keep this one. Although I'm not entirely sure what we could do with the gun wise. I just don't like how it looks. Alright, what I might do, we might change this layout depending a bit on what we're gonna do. I need to move this oxygen tank there, and I think I want to put 2 hydrogen tanks left and right, but we do need 2 extra thrusters here as well. So let us put them here already so we can take them in account when I'm doing the conveying and such. So I just noticed, well, I didn't notice, I was actually trying to edit this session, and I noticed I'm missing a whole session of the last part I was working, and somehow I do not have it. This means that I actually completed the ship. We have changed everything that is important to heavy armor. We have improved the guns locations if needed, but let me just go over it and let's see what I can show you. So you can see the front of the ship is completely changed into heavy armor. We have added some extra little panels here and there, like here and here and here, just to protect the smaller guns. So that way these ones still can shoot to the bottom and around. They don't really need to shoot that direction anyway. So they are a bit protected. If they get shot, they have at least a few hits before they get damaged. We did the same on the top here. I added some extra cover here, so they are protected. I also added one here just to protect the antenna a little bit more. And then this, you should have seen me changing the front here, so that the turret here is more protected. And removing these in the front here also allow the gun to aim a little bit lower without hitting the front of the ship. The thrusters have been installed. You can see all of them have been placed. We have a thruster in the back as well, and we also have our thrusters in the bottom. We have 2 assault guns on the bottom here, and then 1 artillery in the front, a few personnel turrets on the bottom right here, and then we have some smaller turrets left and right. Now I am definitely missing a railgun or whatever, and we might still add them in the future, who knows, we might still find a spot for them. But I've noticed in my experience with fighting with the Factorum, these fixed guns are used on a very minimal base, and they are most of the time just used at the start and then kind of no longer used. Still, I can use the artillery turrets on the ship itself also to do some sniping, so that should be not a big loss, I think, for the moment. The Phoenix is heavier now, stronger, wrapped in heavy armor to match her purpose, but upgrades alone won't win a fight. I'm still alone out here, and I'll need more eyes and more teeth. So drones that harry the Factorum while the Phoenix strikes where it counts. They need to be cheap, replaceable, and relentless. For now, the work is done, but piece by piece, I'm preparing for what lies ahead. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, then don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment and let me know what you think of the Phoenix refit. I really enjoy reading through them, and I will see you again next time. This was Beeblebum. Goodbye for now.